1, 2, 3, 4, quick.
Short.
Bursts.
With.
Adam.
And young. Quick. Short. Bursts. With Adam and young. Quick. Short. Bursts. With young and Adam. Quick. Short. Bursts. Quick. Short. Bursts. Quick, short bursts. Adam and young.
I counted it in that time. I don't know why. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
Woo!
Yeah!
Ah.
What did the necrophiliac say to the corpse?
I want to have sex with you. I'm going to.
That's one thing he could have said.
Uh-huh. Is there...
Another thing he said is, I like it when you play hard to get. You're just lying there like a dead fish. And I like that.
I wonder if there are any necrophiliacs who do have that complaint about live lovers. If they're like, they just kind of lie there. I mean, it's like, does it flip over when they're with a living person? Like, I want, come on, show me something. Give me some energy here. Or are they...
Wait, the necrophiliac is thinking that?
Yeah.
About who?
About a live lover.
That they move around too much?
No, if they're like, come on, let's do this, like show me some energy. And then, but they go to the corpse for the total passivity. If there's a balance thing there.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't expect you to.
I'm not quite sure I understand this.
Yeah. I just feel like, maybe with the corpses, it's like too much lying around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's one to ponder.
It is one to ponder.
I've learned, from being on dating apps, I've learned all kinds of weird terminology and shit.
Like what?
Someone who just lies around, apparently, during sex, is called, I think it's a pillow queen.
A pillow queen?
Yeah.
Where does that stem from?
I don't know. I didn't get into the etymology of it. Sometimes that's difficult. Like, that seems like an Urban Dictionary thing at best, and our Urban Dictionary is just not very helpful a lot of the time.
Have you noticed how the term fuck with has a different meaning now?
Yes. Yeah, like fuck with is just like get involved with, or
I like that. I'm a fan of it. I fuck with that.
I'll fuck with that.
Yeah,
but I kind of like that.
It used to be don't fuck with me. Like are you fucking with me?
Mess with me, or
don't harass
fuck
me.
with that, or don't
don't challenge me.
Don't disturb that thing, or
So I was thinking about this the other day, and you know the song Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With? Yeah,
it's totally different now.
Yeah, so when young people hear that song, do they think, oh, these guys are really trying to convince us that they suck? They're like, we ain't nothing to fuck with. Do not fuck with us. Don't listen to us.
I feel like there's a lot of emotional context there. Like, I think somebody picking that up, listening would be like, oh, I think I know what they mean.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We had to figure out how, the two different forms of bad.
I was just thinking the exact same thing.
I think that's a really bad movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that
movie is bad,
motherfucker.
Yeah. We're adaptable.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, though, if the younger people are aware of this original meaning or not. Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit last time, I think, like just kind of shifting meanings and contexts and stuff, and how it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just this ever-changing thing, and you don't quite know. It's weird to see language change and the way that people interpret things change. God, what the hell were we talking about last time? Now I don't remember it. But
we're talking about Cheers, Gift,
yeah.
And there was another one. I don't remember it at the moment.
Yeah, it's wild, and it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I guess part of maturing gracefully is about just not holding to that old thing and being like, everything that's come since then, is bullshit. You know, it's all like, this is what it is, and you've tried to change it or something, and I'm not going to let you. You know, and you do
Those are the worst kind of old people.
Yeah.
The ones who become fossilized, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And they think that there's some kind of virtue in that.
Right.
And you're like, no, you're just an idiot.
Yeah.
Things are going to change regardless.
Yeah.
And no one's going to give a fuck if you're holding out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you only have so much energy in life, and this is how you choose to spend it, being angry about the way somebody chooses to express something.
And stubborn. Just let it go.
You split an infinitive.
You know that was never actually wrong in English?
Yeah.
I think it was wrong maybe in Latin grammar for some reason.
I just read about this,
but
though.
People were incorrectly applying it to English.
It's still essentially law, though, in a lot of, like, in the New York Times style guide, they say this isn't like illegal to do this. However, we get letters every time you do it, so please don't. So it's all just moderated by asshole readers.
It's funny that a lot of things that people think of as like hard and fast grammar rules originated as just something that was an editor's really strong preference that they listed in a style guide somewhere. So everyone thought, oh, that's like a rule you can't break.
Yeah.
But it's not true. Like one of them is restrictive that and non-restrictive which.
I always confuse that shit.
That was just something that was an editor's really strong preference, personal preference, but it was never something that was supported by historical precedent.
I think people who try to enforce that stuff secretly get like rock hard whenever they see an example of it come up. You know,
yeah,
like someone's in the top. Oh, I can't wait! And the keyboard comes out. Yeah, and then the lube comes out after they press send.
The publishing world is full of assholes like that.
Yeah,
and that's kind of one thing I don't like about working in publishing is being around people like that.
Yeah.
Funny thing happened at work the other day. This girl on Slack was talking about how many scoops of coffee to use in the machine. She's like, how many are we supposed to use so that the grounds don't overflow into the pot or whatever? And she said, I usually use 7 rounded scoops, but I think that might be too much. And then, no, she said 7 level scoops. And then another person said, oh, I used 7 rounded. Maybe I'm the one who made it overflow. And then the boss said, 6 rounded scoops is perfect. And then another person said,
oh no.
Actually, I like to use 4 heaping scoops. And I was like, what the fuck? And then another guy, I swear to God, he chimed in and said, I like to use 5 level and 2 rounded. And I was like, this is starting to sound like a comedy routine. It sounds like something in Monty Python or something.
Yeah.
It was like hilarious. And I was like, well, are these people serious right now?
Were you the only one who found it funny, do you think?
No, I actually typed that on Slack. I was like, this is starting to sound like a comedy routine. And a few people thought it was funny, but most people did not think it was funny.
Wow.
And the guy who commented last, he said, at least that's what I used to use in the former apparatus. He was talking about the old coffee machine. And I was like, who calls the old coffee machine the former apparatus? Like, what kind of asshole does that?
I would do that ironically.
The type of asshole who works in publishing is who does that. Yeah. And that's why sometimes I'm like, I got into the wrong field. I don't like being around people like this, you know?
Yeah, how do you not just bring a flamethrower to work?
Yeah. People discussing level, rounded, and heaping scoops of coffee. Yeah,
I mean, well, and is there a difference between heaping and rounded? You know, I mean, if you really get right down to it.
It's pretty subjective at that point.
Yeah. I think like a great big, I picture around it, you know, it's way up there. And heaping, well, it's maybe less.
And at some point, if there's too much coffee on it, it's just going to fall off the spoon before you can even pour it in.
You should ask them how high of a heap it is or how round it is. Like, I mean, let's get down to brass tacks here. If we're going to be measuring these things.
I was really tempted, though, to say, I like to use 10 level 1/10 scoops and 3 level scoops and 27 1/16 heaping scoops or something like that, you know, just fuck with them because it was getting ridiculous. I was like, Jesus Christ, these people are serious too. They weren't kidding.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really weird.
That's a lot to take.
It is. And that's just when they're talking about the coffee machine. Can you imagine when it comes down to actual work shit?
Yeah, right.
When it comes to editing and proofreading, they're the most anal people on the planet. And they're the most self-righteous and condescending and just arrogant.
The phrase impotent rage comes to mind. Like if your domain is kind of just the field of wordsmithing, and like you're picking these battles, these just kind of, I mean, you don't have that much sway in a lot of ways, right? So I think maybe that's a natural thing that people do, where they're like, okay, it's just this, it's not even a level scoop of influence that I hold here, but I'm just gonna like rage my ass off about it to sort of make up the difference.
Yeah.
I see that kind of thing a lot too. Ugh. It's unpalatable. Okay, so the other day I bought these. I have a moth problem sometimes. I think we talked about this a while ago.
Yeah, you had a shirt with a nipple hole, right?
Yeah. Thank you for reminding the listeners. That one's still messed up. So I picked up, I don't know if you've heard this. I think it's kind of common knowledge, but that moths hate cedar. Did you know that?
Yeah, they use that for anti-moth stuff.
Yeah, like they'll do cedar-lined closets, or you can get like cedar balls to keep in with your sweaters and stuff. Well, I found they make these discs that have a hole through them, so you can like slip that over a coat hanger or whatever, or you just throw them like you would with cedar balls in wherever your sweaters and stuff are. So I did that, and like, apparently moths hate that shit, so those should be okay. But I was thinking about how like whenever they attack one of my sweaters, they just do that one hole and then they move on, or like, whatever. Maybe they die because they've gorged themselves. It's like a moth Elvis kind of thing, or I don't know. But like, I've never had a sweater or anything else that's gotten multiple holes in it. It's always been a single thing. And so it's like when the next one comes to attack, to fuck up something else of mine, to fuck with it, to use the sort of heritage definition of fuck with, they have moved on to something else. It's like a whole other perfectly good garment that I was really enjoying wearing, and they'll rip the nipple out of it or whatever. And I was thinking, I think they're just like people. I think they actually, it's just like if you went to a restaurant or something and you walked up to a table that had like a half-eaten sandwich on a plate from the last customer that was there. You're not thinking like, oh, score, I'm gonna get in on this. Like, you're probably gonna want a brand new meal of your own. And I think moths do the same thing. Like, they come up to these sweaters, and if they see a hole there, they're just like totally grossed out, and they have to find something else.
Like, ew, this one's been touched.
Yeah, they want something totally unsullied. So I have my idea. This might be $1 million idea. I think what might work even better than cedar or mothballs or anything is just a sticker with a photograph of a convincing looking moth hole in it. And just every time you put your wool clothes away, you just stick that on there.
That's a good idea.
I think it'd totally throw off their shit.
That would work for the ones that are more, fussy about stuff.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't work for the ones that kind of don't give a fuck. Like the people, like busboys at a restaurant, the ones who take a tray back and then eat the food leftover food off of it in the back of the restaurant. You
were a busboy for a while, right? Did you ever do that?
We used to do that.
Wow.
It was disgusting when I look back on it.
You were hungry, I imagine.
We were young.
Yeah, you didn't have a whole lot of money, probably.
And yeah, we just didn't consider the consequences very much.
Yeah.
We're just like, it's food. It's barely been touched. Look, some people really don't touch their food very much.
Yeah, right.
They'll order a whole dish and they'll just eat a little bit off the side.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of it's like, hey, this doesn't even look like it's been touched.
Yeah.
But now it wouldn't matter to me. I still wouldn't eat it.
Right. Somebody could have sneezed on it or something.
Man, that looks good. I'm so hungry. I'm just going to... And we would work up an appetite, bussing tables.
Sure.
Hauling all those heavy plates around and stuff.
Do they,
glasses.
Now, this will help me gauge things. Do they give you any free food there?
They didn't give us much free food. Well, there was the Chinese waiters not the waiters, the cooks back there.
Mm.
They would cook up these huge trays of food that all the employees would eat from.
Oh.
And that was free. But if you wanted to order something off the menu, it wasn't.
Got it. And it was totally different food?
Yeah. But sometimes the stuff that Chinese cooks would make I couldn't eat. I remember it was like, sometimes it would be chicken's feet and stuff like that.
Oh, shit.
I never learned how to eat that, and I was always kind of grossed out by it.
Yeah, I've heard it's a delicacy.
Yeah, you just suck the insides out, I guess.
Holy shit.
That's how it works, but I've
I had
never
no
tried
idea.
it. Yeah.
I always wondered how that worked.
It's very unappetizing to me, though.
Yeah.
You see the whole foot there.
Yeah.
And like if I see a live chicken, I'm like, oh, I really want to suck its feet. You know, I don't.
Yeah.
It's not a thought that crosses my mind.
Well,
but going back to the moth thing.
Yeah.
Did you know that it's actually the larvae that eat the wool in your clothing?
Is it really?
It is, yeah.
Huh. Well, then I don't even understand them having a preference like that at that point. Like they should be going.
Yeah, they're
buck
too
wild.
young to care.
Yeah. Because what I would like to have happen is, okay, once I have a hole in a sweater, I want that to be just the sacrificial lamb kind of.
Yeah.
By the way, I bet lambs get fucked with by moths all the time.
Oh,
I never even thought of that.
That would be crazy to walk onto a pasture and see a lamb just covered in moths.
I bet moths just fall all over themselves if they come across a sheep pasture. Mm-hmm. They're like, this is it, boys. This is the promised land.
Yeah. Finally made it.
They can move, but they can't move fast enough.
It's El Dorado for moths.
I'm going to give that one a reverse mohawk.
I'm not going to even care what shape of hair I give this one. I'm just going to eat as much of it as possible.
Going abstract on it.
Do you think there are ones that prefer the certain locations on the sheep? Like, I like the hair around its butt the best. It's the softest and the most flavorful.
Oh, God.
It's got an earthy tone.
Undertones.
Yeah.
Overtones? Tones.
Yeah. The terroir there is really great.
Oh, God, the terroir. That's a wine.
Am I pronouncing that correctly? Yeah, I think it's a wine thing.
Terroir?
Yeah.
It's probably like terroir or something like that.
It has to do with where the grapes are grown and how it affects the flavor.
How the earth kind of comes into the... Mm-hmm. It makes sense. Wine is fascinating to me. It also... God, it's hard to separate the pretentiousness from the whole thing sometimes for me. I'd like to get into it more, though.
One thing that happens in wine tasting sometimes is they spit it out.
Right.
Because they don't. I guess because they don't want to get drunk.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really happen with whiskey tasting, because it's.
Oh.
At least I don't think it does. Maybe it does with really rich folk or people who review it for a living.
Now I wonder what the busboy policy is there.
Yeah. They don't care. They don't care how drunk they are, or how it affects their tasting of the whiskey. They come across this whiskey spittoon and they're like, that's still good shit. Oh, that's the point I didn't consider. Yeah, they probably just chug that. Oh, God. Like, I'm going to go dump this in the back and wash it. And they just go back there and just chug it down. I'll be back here. Don't come back. Well, you could justify it to yourself, though. The alcohol probably kills most of the shit. Yeah. And it's really powerful alcohol and whiskey. It's like 40% usually. Wine is only like, what is it, like 10% or something? Yeah, that's true. It's basically a disinfectant right there built in. So yeah, it's harmless. Please don't do this. But we'll say it's harmless. And like, I bet there's a French busboy word for the flavor that's imparted by the saliva of the person who's Espitoir. The spitoir of this whiskey is excellent. The salivoire. I can tell that man had some foie gras before tasting. Oh, God. Yeah. How many burritos did you have for lunch today? 0. What do you have against Mexican people? It's not like that. Why do you hate Mexicans? How many burritos did you have for lunch today? Lovely people, and I like their cuisine and their culture. I do too. So why didn't you have any burritos for lunch? I haven't had a burrito in a long time. It's pretty damning. You know that, right? Huh. I have burritos especially sometimes. Especially for a white boy like you. Ugh. I know. I know you want to build that wall. Yep. You're a white nationalist. It all comes out now. I knew I should have been eating more burritos as a cover. Yeah. I should always be ready to answer that question with like 3 burritos. Yeah, it's better to lie, even if I wanted it to. It would have to be true. I would have to really take one for the team, gustatorially speaking.
I'm pretty sure 3 burritos a day would kill you. Like,
you think so?
Like I think it would take 5 days.
What, would you get heart failure from it or something? Or digestive problems?
I think it would be a 1-2 punch. I would think it'd hit you from both ends. I think your asshole would stop working. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think your heart would go out too.
That would suck if you were on the pot and nothing would come out and then your heart just stopped.
Yeah, I think that's what it would be too. You'd be trying and you'd try too hard and that's out. Yep, 15 burritos, 5 days.
Well, initially it would make you shit a lot.
Yep.
But then you would reach a point where your sphincter gives out or something.
That's not even planning on burritos that have rice in them. If they had rice, 3 days.
3 days? Why with the rice?
Rice is binding.
Oh. So what, it would bind in your stomach?
In your butt.
Oh, it would just clog up your butthole?
Yep.
Huh.
The works would be closed for repairs.
Are you just trying to justify why you didn't have any burritos for lunch and why you dislike Mexicans?
No.
Okay.
That's what you're doing.
That's not what I'm doing.
Feels like it.
If you asked me how many burritos I'd had, I'd say, I actually prefer flautas.
I was just about to ask you. I'm so glad I didn't.
Because I'm an expert on Mexican cuisine and I love Mexicans. I have nothing against them like you do.
This is not accurate.
Okay. Sure, buddy, who didn't have any burritos for lunch?
Well, you didn't have any either.
I had flautas.
Maybe I had a chimichanga.
But you didn't say that.
No, I don't have to. I don't have to explain my Mexican dining experiences to you.
Why not?
I don't have to account for these things.
I think you do need to.
I don't like the position.
In light of all the shit that's going on in this country lately. They're like rounding up, immigrants and stuff, putting them in Walmarts.
Yep.
And doing God knows what else to them. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is just, flaunting it in their faces, eating like a taco salad.
A taco salad.
And saying, I love Mexicans.
Yeah. Did you see in the background of that photo? So that was years ago, right? That picture. Sometime in the last 6 months, somebody actually zoomed in on the background of that photo because that was in his office. And there's this drawer behind him that's open. And it's almost like it was planted. Contraband Sudafed from England. Like you can't get it in the States. Like boxes of it.
Was he making meth or something?
He's on Sudafed. I forget what the difference is between the English stuff and the American stuff, but
it's probably more potent over there, right?
I think so. I think it's different ingredients and stuff, but yeah, he's on it.
They probably don't have as big of a meth problem there as they do here.
I don't know. I imagine not, because we have it pretty bad here in places.
Yeah. Don't they make it from stuff like that? Sudafed?
I think so.
I don't know if it's in Sudafed.
Yeah, I think it used to be at least. And that was my first thought, was that maybe, they still do it that way over there. But yeah, I think they changed the recipe here after all the meth stuff started blowing up. I could be wrong.
It's funny you brought up the Brits because there's something I wanted to ask you. Why do the Brits say crème anglaise, like the French word?
It's a French thing, right?
Yeah. But why don't they say English cream?
Yeah. Well, I mean, why do we say French fries?
Because it's from France.
Yeah. All right.
Or maybe Belgium. Some people might get pissed about that if you say it's from France.
That's probably true. Yeah, that's not a good analogy. I don't know. Yeah, it is a weird, passing it back and forth. You'd think, even though the French took to calling it that, the English would still go it's English cream.
I think that maybe it's because it's the French interpretation of what the English eat. But then the English started using that.
I'll go along with that. I didn't know you had an actual answer for this.
Yeah, I was just doing this to make you look bad. Ask you something really random and obscure. And I'm like, you don't know the answer to that?
Like you didn't give me enough of a...
I researched this actually, and I know the answer.
Like you didn't give me enough of a pantsing unresearched on the whole moth larvae thing.
Yeah, or the burrito thing.
Thank you very much. Well, the burrito thing was bullshit. You could never get that to stick.
Okay. Nazi. I'm just kidding.
How dare you?
Did you hear about the architect who died in Times Square recently?
No.
Piece of a building fell on her.
Seriously?
Crumbling facade, yeah.
Holy shit.
And I was like, man, that's a crazy way for an architect to die.
Yeah.
Be like if you, I don't know, you fell on a fucking compass and like stabbed yourself in the throat or something.
We don't use compasses anymore, man.
You don't?
No.
Oh shit. I thought you just did it like, you know, with a big ruler and a compass.
Compasses don't get used that often anyway, like even the old school way of doing it.
Oh. What are compasses used for? You just use them to draw circles? Is that it?
You can construct, like you can easily make a 90-degree, you could draw a line and then using a compass you could construct a perpendicular line to that just by the way that the arcs cross and everything.
Oh, okay, where the intersecting points are.
Yeah, so that gets very handy. I think masons used to use them a lot for that kind of stuff in the field, but we, I mean, you know, in the olden days they'd use like T-squares on the edge of a table and then you put like a triangle on the edge of the T-square to get a 90 degree
okay.
and all that. And then in the only recently ancient days, they even had fancier paraphernalia that would be like this ruler that has cables connected to it and it always stays, it never jiggles back and forth on the desk. It's always in one spot. So, and then you put triangles on that so that you always have your horizontal lines on that thing. And then you have your vertical lines for just by putting a 90-degree triangle up on it. So yeah, that was the way we did it then. And then, you know, in the last 20 years, it's basically all gone.
Were you ever working at the point where you did it the old school way?
Yeah.
Oh, my first job. Do that?
My first job, that was how he worked. The architect I worked for, it was just a one-man show. You remember that guy? And part of why he hired me was to start doing more digital stuff. But we still had years where, like a lot of the work got done the old-fashioned way. It was actually a real pain, like a literal pain. It
seems like it'd be a pain.
Your fingers just, it's like your hands and your back just really get fatigued and hurt because you're like leaning over all this thing all day. Oh, and I remember my knees feeling fucked up too because I would bend so far that like my knees would lock to get to like the far edge of the board. It's better now.
Yeah, some people like to romanticize the old school way of doing things.
No.
I would never want to fucking churn butter the old school way.
Yeah.
Or just a lot of things. I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. There's a lot of, it is funny here again with the just shifting times and everything. And a lot of this is just down to things going digital in various spheres. But I learned a lot about black and white film photography when I was in college. And it's weird how much of that is just basically useless now. And there's something about it that I still enjoy. But I mean, like digital is just so fantastic for that stuff. It's so much, it's better in a lot of ways. It's more convenient in a ton of ways. There's something to be learned from doing things the old fashioned way, but man, I don't know about folks who are really still in the tank for that kind of thing. It seems like they're just sort of stuck maybe.
I know some directors in Hollywood still use film pretty religiously, like Tarantino and Scorsese.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
But I know that they've applied some modern techniques to the cameras and shit. You know, how they move them around and make them do well.
Yeah, sure. And it's funny you mentioned Scorsese though, because I mean, he's doing stuff on film, but did you see The Irishman?
I did see that.
Did you see all the shit that got done to De Niro's face in that?
That was weird when he was playing a younger version of himself.
But all through even, I don't think he was ever wearing prosthetic makeup. I'm pretty sure. I mean, they changed his eyes and his nose and probably other stuff. I mean, they tried to make him look a lot more Irish, I'm guessing. And I think that was all done in post-production, just digitally.
Oh, was that?
I'm almost positive.
I thought they did something with his makeup.
I was wondering about that, but then I pictured an actor of De Niro's stature, like I can't imagine him consenting to sit in a makeup chair for like hours a day, because I think that's what it would take to do something like that. When I know that they're able to do that sort of stuff digitally, It's like that movie Looper. With do you remember that one with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and
No,
Bruce
I
Willis?
never saw it.
They changed, so they're kind of
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
don't change now if you don't want to hear about this. I think this becomes clear pretty quickly. They're older and younger versions of the same person, and they, to make Joseph Gordon-Levitt to make a closer resemblance, they changed Joseph Gordon-Levitt's face in the production. It's very strange. Like his eyes are a different color and like they're a different shape, and there's all kinds of stuff like that. So anyway, he's leaning on a lot of digital shit. Scorsese is.
I thought, why did he have to use De Niro and Pacino?
I don't know.
When De Niro was depicting an Irish guy, and Pacino was depicting Hoffa was like German.
He's German,
or something.
yeah, I think so.
But I don't know. I guess he wanted to reunite that old cast for some reason.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird.
I liked a lot of it, though. I mean, I had... I thought it was really funny that in the same way that I can't see De Niro sitting through a makeup session every day, Pacino clearly did not want to sit through a vocal coaching session every day because he just kept losing and refining his accent. You know, like it was... And he would just kind of lapse into doing his Pacino impression that he's so good at. And
Pacino and De Niro both are basically Pacino and De Niro in every movie.
Yeah, and that's kind of why we show up for him, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I figure, he wanted to reunite them. They were good in it. It was just, I think there's a lot of cachet that comes along with being that established, you know? Like, imagine if you saw a movie with two up-and-comers in it and that much was weird about it. You'd be like, who the fuck are these guys? What are they doing?
Yeah. The Hoffa stuff in that movie was way too long for me, though.
Oh.
There was too much of the Hoffa crap. I was like, this is just dragging on and on about Jimmy Hoffa. I know that was a main point, part of the movie, but I think that's what made the movie so damn long. It was almost, I think it's a little bit too long.
It was really long, yeah. I don't remember exactly where I felt like it was dragging.
But there was this, I remember I saw this thing on Twitter and this comedian was making fun of The Irishman and he was like, this movie has already been made and it's called Goodfellas and it was much shorter and much better. And I was like, there's a little bit of truth to that.
Huh.
But it's a pretty different movie too.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen Goodfellas. Very typically
Scorsese.
There was it seemed like there maybe was less violence in it than some of his other ones. I mean, a lot of people still get shot in the head. Yeah. But, I don't know.
Do you have anything else to say?
Not really.
Neither do I.
All right. Let's call it.
All right. Maybe I should just talk about one thing that happened. So I don't have to talk about it next time.
All right.
I'm going to condense 2 stories. So I was walking my dog the other day, and I saw these 2 girls that were waiting for the bus that goes to, I think, Snoqualmie Casino. It always stops near Chinatown, or in really? Chinatown, near where I live. And they were like watching us approaching the whole time, and they were just laughing the whole time we were walking towards them. And then I overheard one of the girls say something about, my dog looks like a rodent or something like that. And then my dog stopped at a sign next to them and peed on it. And he left this huge puddle, right? And this girl, one of the girls was just staring at the pee and laughing at it. And like the whole thing really pissed me off because they were like mocking my dog, right?
Yeah.
So I said to her, it's piss. It's what dogs do. And I was glaring at her, you know, obviously pissed off.
Yeah.
And they were just like, I don't know, the reaction was weird. They were still kind of like laughing, but they didn't seem that amused anymore because I was obviously pissed.
That was weird.
Yeah, I just thought what I came up with to say at the moment was kind of weird too.
Yeah, you kind of made a like an advertising tagline almost.
It's piss. It's what dogs do.
I can see the graphics and everything.
I had to resist the temptation to like curse them out or like call them names, you know, something really childish like that.
Yeah.
But I think I got the point across with just my glaring at them. Yeah.
And your carefully curated words.
Yeah. And there's another story I wanted to get rid of because I'm tired of writing it down.
Let's blow them out.
I skate on this one-way street all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a ledge there that I skate.
Like a curb?
Yeah, it's a pretty high curb. And it grinds and slides. Mm-hmm. Oh, and then as an aside, a lot of people drive up this street the wrong way.
And you skate on it generally the right way? Or does it matter?
No, I go both ways. But I just notice all these people, and sometimes they'll look at me like I'm crazy for skating there, and I'll look at them for driving the wrong way. But anyway, there's these guys apparently who drive by there all the time when I'm skating. Mm. These two guys in a small sedan. I think they work together, coworkers or something. Mm. And one time they were stopped at the stop sign at the bottom of the little hill there. It's like a small hill. And I was skating, I was trying to go around the car, and then the guy backed up to get in my way, and he stopped, and he was like, "Man, what are you on your lunch break or something out here?" You know, he's basically implying that I don't have a job. Huh. Because it's 2 p.m. and it's 2:30 usually, but I'm already off work because I work 6 to 2 usually. And I was like, "No, I work from 6, you know." And he was like, "Oh, okay. So I guess you're just keeping the dream alive out here," or something. And I was like, "Yeah, trying to." And then they go, "All right, well, have a nice day." And I said, "Okay, you too." And then they pulled forward like, but the whole thing was weird. It's like they were kind of, I don't know, like fucking with me basically.
Yeah.
Not fucking with me, but fucking with me.
Yeah. Yeah. The bad way.
And yeah, the thing that they were implying was that you're just some weird skater dude that doesn't have a job. Mm-hmm. And then when I told them I actually do have a job, I think it made them back off a little bit.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
Do you ever think, so do you replay that exchange in your head and think of different things you wish you had said instead or something? Or
no, I think I kept it fairly civil, but I got the point across. Like, no, I do have a job. I'm just skating because I like to do it and I have time after work to do it, you know? Yeah,
no, it's definitely not bad. Sometimes when I have an exchange like that, like something, I'm surprised by how much information I'll give up to someone who's just being a dick. Like, it's actually none of your fucking business whether I have a job, and it's none of your business when it starts and stops if I do, and all that stuff, you know? Like, I'm surprised that just somebody being a jerk to me.
Yeah, I could see that side of it too.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
I don't owe them any information, you know?
Yeah. Like,
I agree with that, but I also just wanted them to shut the hell up.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to drive by every day and be like, oh, like chuckling, like, look at this idiot who doesn't have
if it's
a job.
Someone you see more often and everything. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't really give a fuck what they think or anything like that, but I just wanted them off my back, basically.
Yeah, I get it. People are fucking weird.
Yeah, people are weird. But they have, you could tell they just had this weird, like, I don't know, like working class angst or resentment or something. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of working class people have this attitude.
I think so.
We're real people who do real work, you know, and everyone else is just like...
What do you think they do?
I don't know what they do. They look like they do some kind of blue-collar work. They both wear, I don't know, like work clothes, like Dickies type clothes.
Got it.
They might be repairmen or mechanics or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, fuck you, buddy. I work too.
Yeah.
And I'm out here skating because I like it. Take your fucking blue-collar bullshit and fuck off.
That's right.
I have nothing against working class people. I just don't particularly romanticize them either, like some people do.
Yeah.
Like, which is very common in America.
Yes.
Oh, these are real working Americans. That type of bullshit.
I think most of that trickles down from politicians pandering to them when they need their votes, don't you?
Yeah. These are real American patriots who fucking get down and dirty and do real work. I fucking work too, so suck it.
Roll up your sleeves and hit yourself up by your bootstraps and...
Be American.
Strap on your helmet.
And suck the foreman's cock.
That old chestnut.
While massaging his balls.